You're listening to Empyrion's podcast, Benefits and Beyond. This podcast is a collaborative production involving both artificial intelligence and human creators, blending machine-generated and human-curated content.
Okay, let's dive in. We're taking a deep look today at something that's, well, fundamentally reshaping the place where so many of us spend our time. The workplace. Specifically, how artificial intelligence, AI, is moving beyond just, automating tasks or handling basic HR stuff.
Right, the paperwork side of things.
Exactly. And really getting into influencing the culture and the actual experience of being an employee. We've been digging into a recent article laying out this whole transformation.
Yeah, and our goal here really is to get past the surface level. We want you to see how AI is touching the core parts of work life.
Things like,
Well, like how people connect with each other, how teams actually collaborate, whether everyone feels included, even how the company's values play out day to day.
so you can walk away with a really clear, maybe actionable picture of this shift. Because it's pretty critical.
Yeah, it's not just about buying new software. It's about potentially building a better place to work, using these tools smartly.
Okay, so the article starts off talking about this foundational shift.
Yeah.
Like how culture is even measured and built now.
Right.
Traditionally, you'd think culture comes from, the leadership's vision, maybe some employee feedback once a year, shared values. It felt a bit vague.
Definitely. A bit intangible. Maybe based on gut instincts sometimes. Leaders often relied on their intuition or maybe data that was months old.
Yeah.
But the big difference now is AI providing real-time insights. It lets organizations measure, understand, and then actively strengthen their culture. Things that just weren't really feasible before.
So instead of working off broad assumptions about what people need or how they're feeling.
We're waiting ages for survey results.
Right. HR leaders, company leaders, they can now make informed, data-backed decisions. Much more specific decisions.
Yeah, tailored to what employees actually need right now and also aligned with company goals. It's moving from being reactive in general to proactive and personalized.
That really does feel like a fundamental change in how you'd cultivate culture.
And what's really interesting is how this directly tackles a huge issue right now. Employee engagement, or the lack of it.
That sense of connection.
Exactly. The data's pretty stark, actually. The source mentioned a striking 56% of employees feel disconnected from their workplace.
Wow, 56%. That's more than half.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you there's a big problem. So how does AI step in? How does it help bridge that gap?
Well, the source highlights a few powerful ways. First, AI-driven sentiment analysis.
Okay, what does that mean practically?
Think about all the feedback floating around, survey, comments, maybe patterns and internal comms, all anonymized and aggregated, of course. AI can sift through that massive amount of text data.
And find patterns.
Yeah, detect patterns, highlight potential cultural gaps, or maybe hotspots of frustration before they blow up into major issues.
So it's like an early warning system. You can see problems brewing almost in real time across the whole organization.
Precisely. And building on that, you have AI-powered pulse surveys.
Instead of the big annual one.
Right. Forget the monster questionnaire nobody wants to fill out. These pulse tools give you real-time snapshots of employee sentiment, engagement levels, maybe week to week or month to month.
So leadership gets constant feedback.
Constant insights, yeah. Which lets them respond proactively. They can address feedback quickly, not reactively deal with problems that have been festering for months.
And what about making sure communication flows both ways, not just top-down announcements?
Absolutely key. AI chatbots and virtual assistants are helping facilitate that two-way street. Employees can easily ask questions about benefits, policies, whatever, give feedback, and feel like they're actually being heard.
And get quick answers.
Yeah, that immediate interaction, getting a timely response, even from a bot initially, can make a huge difference in feeling valued and not just shouting into the void.
And it sounds like employees are actually open to this, ready for it.
Very much so, according to the research. A big majority, 81% of employees said AI improves their job performance.
81%.
Yeah. And maybe even more telling for the culture piece, 68% said they want more AI-driven solutions at work. They see the upside.
So they're not just putting up with it, they're actively asking for more.
Exactly. And there's a great example of doing this thoughtfully, JP Morgan Chase. They knew just dropping AI tools could create anxiety.
Sure.
So they launched a big AI education program alongside the new AI communication and productivity tools. They explained the why and the how.
And the result.
Pretty significant. A 30% increase in employees actually using those new AI tools. And just as important, they reported greater employee trust in leadership's whole approach to tech.
So it shows that the human side, communication training, building trust is still crucial, even when you're rolling out advanced AI.
Absolutely paramount.
Okay, so AI helps us understand the culture better with data, helps connect people through better communication. Let's switch gears slightly to something often seen as purely admin benefits. AI was already making changes there, but how does it affect the experience side, the cultural side?
Right. This is an area where AI is really revolutionizing things. It's shifting benefits from that confusing one-size-fits-all package.
That nobody understands.
Exactly. To something much more personalized, efficient, and actually accessible for employees.
Okay, so how does that work for me, the employee, try and figure out my healthcare plan or retirement options?
Well, think of AI-powered benefits platforms almost like a personal concierge. They can analyze your preferences, maybe your past usage patterns, even your life stage, to give you tailored recommendations.
So instead of wading through dozens of options that don't apply to me.
Right. You get pointed towards the ones most likely to meet your specific needs. It's a bit like Netflix suggesting shows, but for, pretty important life decisions.
That makes perfect sense.
Uh,
It turns benefits from this bureaucratic chore into something helpful, maybe even guided.
Precisely. And then you have automated virtual assistants simplifying the admin burden even more.
The chatbots again.
Yeah, they can handle common stuff like walking you through enrollment, answering FAQs instantly, providing support 24/7.
Which is great for the employee, getting immediate answers.
Definitely. But it also massively reduces the HR workload. It frees up HR folks for the more complex, sensitive, human-centric tasks that really require empathy.
And can the company use this data to make the benefits themselves better, not just the process?
Yes, absolutely. Predictive analytics can flag underutilized benefits. If hardly anyone is using a certain program, the company can dig into why.
Maybe people don't know about it, or it's just not relevant anymore.
Exactly. This lets them optimize their offerings, maybe swap out unpopular benefits for things employees actually value more, which in turn boosts engagement and strengthens the culture.
Yeah, that connection's clear.
The source really drives this home. Making benefits easier, more relevant, more personalized through AI directly enhances engagement and contributes positively to the overall workplace vibe.
Feeling supported with good, relevant benefits definitely makes you feel more valued. Okay, let's move to the absolute core of work. How teams collaborate and actually get things done. A strong culture needs good teamwork and efficiency, right?
They go hand in hand. And AI can act as a powerful catalyst here, removing some of those common barriers that slow things down or make collaboration clunky.
Barriers like not knowing who the expert is on X topic or just endless scheduling back and forth.
Exactly, those kinds of things. AI platforms can analyze work habits, skill sets, past project successes to suggest optimal team structures for, say, a new cross-functional project. It might even recommend specific people to brainstorm with based on their expertise or successful past collaborations.
Wow, so imagine kicking off a complex project and getting instant suggestions for the best people internally to pull in. That's a huge time saver.
Massive.
Oh, yeah.
And improves the chances of success right from the start. It's moving from guesswork to really strategic team building.
And beyond just forming the teams, the article links AI's role in streamlining workflows directly to reducing burnout. How does that connection work?
Well, think about all the repetitive, low-value admin tasks that eat up our time and energy.
Expense reports,
Yeah,
scheduling meetings.
precisely. AI can automate a lot of that. Scheduling, processing expense approvals, handling routine requests. This frees employees up to focus on the meaningful, impactful work they were actually hired for, the stuff that uses their skills.
Yeah, those repetitive tasks can feel so draining, like you're not actually accomplishing much.
Totally. And similar to the benefits example, AI assistants can handle routine HR requests too, like putting in PTO, checking your remaining leave, finding compliance info.
So you don't have to wait for a person in HR to manually process a simple request.
Exactly. You get an instant resolution, which keeps you productive and reduces that background level of frustration. Plus, AI can offer just-in-time recommendations for the right tools or information you need for a specific task.
So less time wasted searching through folders or asking colleagues.
Right. The system anticipates what you might need next based on your workflow.
The impact on productivity seems pretty undeniable. The article threw out some big numbers.
Yeah, they were quite striking. Industries heavily using AI, I think IT, financial services, professional services, are seeing nearly 5 times higher labor productivity growth compared to less exposed sectors.
5 times.
And the projection is huge. AI is forecast to boost overall employee productivity by something like 40% by 2035.
40%. That's not just tweaking things. That's a fundamental change in output potential.
It really is. And the IBM case study mentioned connects this productivity gain back to well-being and culture really nicely.
What did it do?
IBM developed an AI model specifically to identify employees who were showing signs of being at high risk of burnout or disengagement based on various anonymized data points.
Okay.
And then, crucially, they used those AI insights to proactively offer personalized support, maybe wellness resources, maybe targeted career development programs before those employees reached a crisis point or decided to leave.
And it worked.
Apparently, yes. They saw a measurable reduction in voluntary turnover and reported a clear enhancement of their workplace culture. It shows AI isn't just about pushing for more output. It can be used to support people better.
That's a really powerful example.
Mhm.
Using AI not just to drive efficiency, but to proactively support employees' well-being. Which leads us naturally to another critical piece of culture, values and inclusion.
Absolutely. A strong culture is deeply tied to whether employees feel connected to the company's core values and whether the environment feels genuinely diverse and inclusive for everyone.
And AI can help here too.
It can play a significant role, yeah, helping companies actually live up to those stated principles and ensuring all employees feel supported and like they belong.
How does AI help bridge that gap between, say, the values written on the wall and the actual day-to-day experience?
Well, by analyzing workforce sentiment again through surveys, feedback channels, etc., AI can help leaders see if employees feel aligned with those stated values. Is there a disconnect? If there is, those insights give data-driven clues on how to adjust leadership messaging, maybe tweak engagement strategies, or even redesign leadership training to better embed those cultural principles.
So it helps keep the values real and lived.
That's the idea. And the article noted something remarkable. 80% of business leaders believe AI actually helps employees make better, more values-aligned decisions in their daily work.
Wow, 80%. That suggests AI could almost act like a subtle guide, nudging actions towards the company's ethical compass. That's fascinating.
It's a potentially powerful application.
Yeah.
Now, what about the huge challenge of inclusion across different generations? We have up to 5 generations in the workforce now.
Right. And a one-size-fits-all approach to cultural inclusion just doesn't cut it anymore.
Not at all. It's a massive challenge. But AI offers a path towards more personalized inclusion. Instead of generic programs, AI can help HR tailor workplace experiences to meet the very different needs and preferences of these generational cohorts.
Helping everyone feel seen and valued for who they are and where they are in their career. Can you give an example? How might that tailoring look in practice?
Sure. So, for younger employees who often really prioritize learning, growth, and connection, AI could power sophisticated mentorship pairing tools.
Matching them based on more than just job title.
Yeah, based on skills, career goals, maybe even personality indicators to find really good matches with experienced colleagues.
Okay. And for older, more experienced employees?
For them, maybe they're thinking about later stage career development or perhaps pivoting skills. AI could curate highly personalized career development plans and learning pathways that are directly relevant to their experience level and future goals.
Tailored learning, got it.
And even in collaboration tools, you could imagine AI offering subtle, customized communication style suggestions, helping bridge potential gaps in how different generations prefer to interact, ensuring everyone's communication lands effectively and everyone feels heard.
Okay, so AI is really touching almost every part of the employee experience. How understood you feel, how you manage benefits, how you collaborate, feeling aligned with values, feeling included. It's incredibly broad.
It really is.
So, given how pervasive this could be, how should HR leaders or companies even start? How do you implement AI in a way that genuinely enhances the culture and doesn't just feel like another piece of tech being forced on people?
That is the absolute key question, and the source is really clear on this. It needs a strategic, human-centric approach. AI has to enhance human connection and initiatives, not try to replace them.
So it's definitely not about just buying a tool and flipping a switch.
Not at all. The article lays out 4 really essential steps for leaders thinking about this. First, Start small.
Don't boil the ocean.
Exactly. Don't try to overhaul everything at once with AI. Pilot AI tools in just one or two specific areas. Maybe test sentiment analysis in one department, or try personalized benefits recommendations for a specific group. See what works, learn, adjust.
Test the waters, build some confidence and understanding. Makes sense.
Second, and this is non-negotiable, involve employees. Train teams on how the AI is intended to support the culture goals, how it benefits them specifically.
Be transparent.
Totally transparent. Explain how their data is being used, aggregated, anonymized to improve things. That transparency is critical for trust and getting people on board. Remember the JP Morgan Chase example.
Right, making sure people understand the why and feel like part of the change, not just subject to it.
Precisely. Third step, develop a roadmap. Don't just adopt AI tools ad hoc because they seem cool.
Have a plan.
Have a clear plan, set long-term goals for the kind of culture you want to build, and then create an AI adoption roadmap that is explicitly tied to achieving those cultural values. Use AI as a strategic tool to get you there.
Okay, start small, involve people, have a roadmap. And the last piece, how do you know if any of this is actually working?
You measure the impact, and not just AI usage stats. Use AI-driven dashboards, use pulse surveys, use the analytics to track the cultural outcome.
The real results.
Yeah. Are engagement scores going up? Is voluntary turnover going down? Are cross-functional projects finishing faster or more successfully? Are people reporting feeling more included? Those are the metrics that tell you if your AI strategy is genuinely strengthening the culture.
This whole deep dive, it's really made it clear that AI is doing so much more than just optimizing processes or cutting costs. It seems like it's fundamentally reshaping the very foundation of workplace culture, moving it from something that felt kind of fuzzy and hard to measure to something that can be actively understood, nurtured, and improved using these intelligent tools when applied thoughtfully.
And companies that really get this, that approach it strategically, always keeping the human element and the cultural goals front and center, while smartly using AI for insights, personalization, efficiency, they're not just getting a tech upgrade.
What do they get?
They're actively building more engaged, more connected, and more genuinely inclusive teams.
And ultimately, that really positions them as the kind of places people want to work, right? Employers of choice in a world where talent is looking for that sense of value and connection.
Absolutely.
So maybe the final thought for you listening is this. How could a strategic, human-centered use of AI help create a more engaged, connected, and truly inclusive team right there in your workplace? What could that look like for you?
Thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and follow us on LinkedIn. We'll be back with more great content in our next episode.